If you're not familiar with integromics, just like the name suggests, we're a life science company. We build applications to integrate the omics. So primarily we focus on genomics, proteomics, as well as data management for both gene expression as well as proteomics data. Um, our partners have been TIBCO Spotfire. We are exclusive software providers for Applied Biosystems real-time PCR instruments. For our microarray application called Integromics Biomarker Discovery, we are AFI compatible. We're also part of the Illumina iConnect as software providers, and we've also integrated all of our applications with IPA applications. So everyone's very familiar with all the steps that are involved in performing an experiment, running the samples, perhaps identifying a specific study, setting up the experiment, etc. And then what we realized was that since everyone's familiar with these steps, the bottleneck always comes when it's time to perform the data analysis. And 2 points are the cause of this bottleneck. Usually, either people are not familiar with all of the steps of the analysis, they're not familiar with what type of methods or algorithms to use, um, and also, just with this type of data, it could get quite complex with many variables. So, just making sure that there is a specific workflow ensures that everyone who also perform the experiments can also do the data analysis. So, what we did was we developed a similar protocol to that of the experiment, but this time for the analysis. So, there is a step-by-step guided workflow starting from importing their data, importing the experimental design, going through quality control steps, and then finally normalizing and performing differential expression and generating a report fairly easily and fairly quickly. So, if you're familiar with RQ Manager and SDS software, you'll know that you can export 10 plates at a time. Now, with our latest release 4.1, there's no limit to how many plates you could upload using the new amplification curve reader. So if you're interested in uploading multiple plates, you can go ahead and use the amplification curve reader. Within the application, we have two interfaces. The one interface is the easy interface, and as it's shown here, you basically go from importing your data and then importing the experimental design, loading, and then with one click of a button, you can perform the full analysis where you can see information regarding the delta CTs as well as the quality uh, 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 control of your replicates through the correlation based on the biological groups. Now, this is basically a snapshot of the data. If you really want to go in and maybe change the parameters, drill down to some information, filter, perhaps change maybe the endogenous controls that you have selected, and really interact with the data, then you would need to switch to the advanced interface. And this is basically the advanced interface, which is what I will be focusing during the presentation of the software. And basically, within the advanced interface, you have the analysis workflow checklist, which basically goes from start all the way down to step 10, which is the report. You also have the interactive visual interface. So this is where you can highlight specific section of or specific detectors, maybe zoom in, etc. And then we also have included here the project panel, which is very unique to this type of software, where you first of all can keep track of all of the activities, and by activities I mean how many samples you uploaded, what's the quality of the data, how you filtered, how did you normalize, what type of statistics you used for your results. So it's basically writing your method section for you. And then you also have the exceptions panel. And the exceptions panel is a little bit different because as you're going through the analysis, you're going to start to see that perhaps the quality of the data needs to be checked. So if there's some red flags that appear here, that means that just go back and review exactly maybe the technical replicates, maybe the biological replicates, how you filtered your data, what the endogenous control was that you used, and it really provides you a lot of information that could be useful when it comes to the quality control. Um, Also, we have the click and go, which is basically the analysis in one click, where you go from data all the way to results. And so at this point, it's very useful to understand that even though you perform the analysis in one click, you always have the ability to keep track of everything that you've done, as well as the information regarding the quality of the data. So it's not just performing the analysis in one click. You can always go back and fine tune some of the parameters, maybe change, modify a little bit how you analyze the results, and then see how different the results may be. Finally, we have a 15-day free trial. During the 15 days, you have full access to our trained technical support. Also, you can get assistance with the data analysis, whether it's actually interpreting the results or even setting up the experimental design and understanding how to run through the analysis. And just like today, we have twice a week complimentary weekly web trainings that you can attend, and ask as many questions as you like, and also interact with us. So, looking forward to talking to you soon. We'll be following up with you, and if you have any questions, feel free to email us at support@endogromics.com or visit our website for more information. Thank you.